to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, concealed carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the war room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And I am back. It is a Tuesday morning, and I am tucked away in the war room somewhere in the high desert of southern Idaho. And I figured it was time to get on here and do a podcast. I've got some thoughts, and that's why you guys tune into the podcast, is to hear my thoughts. Am I right? Okay, I figured. Even if that's not the reason why, you're going to hear them anyway. I had my permit class on Saturday, and it was a good class. Lots of really good shooters. There was a gentleman, I'm not going to throw his name out there, but he listened to the podcast, and actually I think he found the podcast, and then he signed up and he took the permit class, and he might be back to take some more classes, but he was here for class, and I spent some time, actually a lot of time, after the class was all over, chatting with him and listening to him talk about his shooting and stuff, and it was good. If you're listening, it was good to meet you, and I hope to see you out here again. He was nervous about class, but he was a stellar shot. Like, he did really good. In fact, I want to kind of use him as an example because from what I've gathered, and maybe I heard him wrong, from what I gathered, he was a pretty new shooter, and he was kind of nervous about coming to class. He's just not a big go to a place where there's a lot of people type of person, but he decided he wanted to come and get his permit, and he didn't want to look bad, and he went out and he practiced and he trained and he shot a bunch of ammo, and by the time he got to class, it showed. It was 100%. I mean, he was just putting them all through the same hole, like his nice, tight little groups when we were out there shooting, and he did a fantastic job, and I hope he's listening. And he even said his wife listens to the podcast, so if she's listening to this, hello, wife. I don't know your name. I don't know your name, and I wouldn't give it out on the podcast anyhow. So, what else am I going to chat about? Oh, I think I have been kicking this around for quite a while. And I think that I am hours away, 10 minutes away, I don't know, from actually going out and purchasing a Canik Meta Prime. Now, whenever I make a purchase, I got to think it out forever. Even if it's just a fun purchase for me, and I know it's just a fun purchase for me, and there's really no need for me to make a purchase whatever I'm buying. I feel like I just think it over. I overthink it. I think on it for hours and days and sometimes months, depending on what it is. And even if I have the money, and it is set aside, I will just go over it and over it and over it in my head. And it... I don't know. It takes me a long time to order something. Well, when it comes to the Canik Prime, I've wanted one for quite a while, and then I was kind of getting close to maybe purchasing one, and then they said they were coming out with the Canik Prime Radian, which has a different barrel, has an actual compensator on it, a different back strap, that kind of stuff. So little tweaks to the actual Prime, which in all actuality, I was going to wait for that, but it's a chunk of change more than the basic entry level, what I'm going to call entry level basic Prime. And I don't know that I could justify or wanted to spend that much on the actual Radian. So I was talking to Jeremy, who he helps me out in class a lot. He'll be listening to this podcast, and we were having a conversation about it. And he's like, because here's the thing: when I buy a gun, it is a business expense, and this gun isn't going to be for me. I need kind of a smaller sized gun I'm going to call it like a mid-sized gun, because that's kind of what it is. It's kind of a mid-sized gun for class, not only for my kid to shoot and for me to shoot, but I need one for class. A lot of times people show up here and they don't know what they want to buy. So I tell them to not buy anything and come shoot some of what I have. Well, I've got a larger Canic. I've got the TTI. And, I mean, a Canic feels like a Canic to a certain extent, at least the trigger. So they shoot it, and it's like, I don't want a gun that big. And then I try to tell them that they have smaller Canics and kind of what to look for, but it'd be better if I had one to actually put in their hands and let them shoot. Not that I'm getting a kickback from Canic or not. I mean, I'm not. I never have on anything. But I think right now it is a gun that is quite popular. And for good reason. I wouldn't just push a gun or put a gun into someone's hand so it was just because it was popular. Like, it's got to be a good gun. There's got to be reasons as to why I think it would be good for a newer shooter or for just any shooter in general. And I'm getting really tired of the 365s. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They're good guns. And I mentioned this on here before, but I think the Canic's just a way better gun, especially the smaller, line, like the Prime and whatnot. I think they're just way better guns. And so I need one to put into people's hands. And now I was talking to Jeremy about this. I was like, I don't know, to get the basic one. Do I get the Radian? And he's like, well, if you're going to have new shooters shoot it, why get the one that's all fancied up? Give them a basic gun. Because that's going to be the guns that they're looking for, the ones that they can afford. I mean, not saying that someone couldn't afford it, but when you're getting into something, maybe you don't want to spend a whole ton of money. Well, we're not talking Taurus money, but we're not talking TTI money either. We're talking like right in between. I'm sure if Mason is listening to me right now, listen to this right now. I've either going to call you or I've already called you or texted you and had you order one of these for me. Mason's my gun guy over at Ballistic Edge Firearms. So, yeah, if you're on Facebook, go check out Ballistic Edge Firearms. Check out their Facebook page. Give him a follow, man. He puts up all kinds of different things on there. So he could be your go-to gun guy. I know he is mine. For right now, he is my go-to firearms dealer. He's my meth dealer. I'm kidding. No, he's not my meth dealer. He's my gun dealer. So there's that. So I'm going to be probably getting one of those here in the future because I can use it in class. Will I carry it? Probably not. I really like my H&Ks. But my son, he's been shooting the TTI, and it's large, and it's a big gun, and he can shoot it. But I think maybe something a little smaller might do him a little bit better. He shot one before, and he seemed to like it. So we will. I don't know. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. It might be in my possession by the end of the week. We shall see. Now, the main reason for the podcast, and I have to be really careful about how I talk about this, because I don't want to have people think that I am blaming them for things, that I'm bad talking them, because I'm not. This is a kind of a pet peeve. I get so many people that show up here, and this is nothing I haven't said before, by the way. So many people that show up here that have purchased firearms. We just got these guns and we want a class. And usually I'm like, oh, you just got these guns, like brand new, like you bought them last week? Yep, just bought them last week. We're looking for a beginner's class to shoot them at and learn all about them so we can be safe, which I respect that. I respect the fact that you even went out and purchased your first gun. I think that's absolutely fantastic. This is what bothers me, and it's not the people buying the guns, it's the people selling the guns. The guys behind the counter who own gun stores, who work at gun stores, most of them, we'll probably say 98% of them, they're just trying to help the customers. I totally get that. They're trying to help them. You got a person who comes in, doesn't know much about guns. Maybe they've put in some time, at least on YouTube, looking at different gun reviews. I mean, they may not have even done that, but they are coming in. They are going to buy their first gun, and they don't know much, right? But the guy behind the counter is going to help steer them in a certain direction. Try to find what fits them. Hopefully, if he's doing his job correctly, he's going to help them find what fits them. Here's the thing, and I'm just classifying the guys that I know. The guys behind the counter selling the guns have never been out on a range. They haven't been an instructor, probably. There's a good chance. I mean, there's always a possibility. I'm sure some of them are. I know some of them are. But the most of the ones that I'm in my area that I know of, they are not instructors. They haven't gone out on the range for years and years and years, and they haven't seen what new shooters bring to the range to shoot. They don't know all the ins and the outs of why someone might be fit one gun over another. They just don't. They've gone out, they've shot guns, and they think they know. And that's not on them. You don't know what you don't know type of situation. You get a gun that is kind of small, not little tiny ones, and we all know how that works with small guns. Smaller guns typically have more recoil, and so on and so forth. And if your customer comes in and they're like, I want a gun I can carry in my purse. I don't want that one right there is way too big. You're going to definitely probably steer the people toward what they want to spend their money on. I get it. So this isn't on the guy behind the counter 100%, right? They're trying to make their customers happy, and the customer is always right. And I totally get that. And I'm not mad at anyone. It's just, I think that everyone who sells guns should spend like 5 years with new firearms owners on the range instructing them, because you see lots of things. And even the new gun owners don't know what they don't know. And they think that gun that's small, that looks good, that I'm an older person, maybe I'm not as strong as I once was. I don't want a big gun. I want to get that little gun, right? And then they give it to them, and they look at it. Oh, that's the one I want. Well, they buy this thing without ever having shot it before, and that's a problem. And then they purchase a gun, and it's not what they want. But yet, sometimes these people will go and buy new guns. Sometimes they just grit their teeth and they stick it out with the one they have, and they don't like shooting it so much they never come back and shoot it. And then I want to talk about the fact that quit trying to put, and I'm not trying to classify everyone here, but quit trying to put new shooters into freaking G43s or G41 or something like that. My God, here's a person who has never shot in their life, and you're going to sell them a Glock, which isn't a bad gun per se, but it's got a really shitty trigger in it. The triggers are absolutely horrible. Some generations are better than others. I totally get it. But why the hell would you sell them that to learn on when they can easily walk 3 feet to the right or to the left, and you could pick up a Canic, which has a 300% better trigger in it, that is going to be much better for a new shooter? Do you know how many new shooters have showed up here with a Glock and they're like, what the crap? I don't like this gun. Or this is horrible. And they shoot it like shit. And then I hand them something a little bit better with a little bit better trigger. And they're like, holy cow, I love that thing. I'm like, yeah, well, you could have bought that too. But how come he wanted to sell me this? I'm like, I have no idea why he would have done that. Unless he gets a bigger percentage, a bigger cut. I don't know how that works. I'm not saying that's exactly what happens. Maybe the the agreement they have with Glock is that they have to keep so much of that Glock inventory on hand that it costs them a ton of money. So by God, yeah, they're going to sell every Glock they can to try and lighten that overhead burden of money being locked up and having to have, I don't know, $20,000 of Glocks in stock. I don't know whatever the agreements are, right? And it's not just Glocks, it's everything. I mean, I see more people come out here with shields, and shields, they've gotten better over the years. Their triggers have gotten better over the years, but they're not, I mean, yeah, they're dependable, they're reliable, they run, but they're not that great a gun. They just really aren't. And then a newer shooter, a brand new shooter, let's say, and there's nothing wrong with safeties, but then they want to get a gun with a safety because they want to be safe. And then they pick up a shield because maybe they don't want a Glock, which they dodged the bullet on that one. Excuse the pun. They dodged the frickin' bullet on that. I just said that. They dodged the bullet on that one, right? Because they wanted a gun with a, quote, safety. So then they pick up a shield because it has a safety. And then when they go to class and they start drawing that gun and shooting it and realize that they have to figure out how to sweep that freaking minute safety off, and it's a real problem because it's almost non-existent, but it's there because they call it a safety. That's another issue. When people, I don't even know what to say, but if I get someone that calls me and they want to set up a beginner's class, and they tell me, so we were out looking at guns. My first question is, did you buy any? Don't buy any. Don't buy any guns. Come shoot them first. Come shoot guns first, and then go buy a gun. Now, I'm not saying that the people behind the counters are rude to them, are disrespectful to them, nothing like that. And I'm not saying they're just trying to push their agendas. I mean, some of them do. I get that. But they need to think. I mean, I've seen stuff in class, right? And I would love to. I'm almost sick of seeing the EZs too, the Smith & Wesson EZs. They were good when they came out, but let's talk about how horrible that is. Their grip safeties are hinged in the wrong spot. They're hinged at the bottom and not at the top, and it's just. They're not great. I'm sick of seeing those too. I'm really sick of seeing those. And then the one thing that really throws me over the edge, drives me over the edge, is when they come in and they're like, "Oh, here's this Ruger LCP." They brought this freaking Ruger LCP2 or some bullshit in. It's like, no bigger than my hand, and they expect these people to shoot it. Look at the people you're selling these guns to. Now, maybe I'll give this to them. Maybe they're just selling that person what that person wants. But if they came in and they didn't know anything, direct them better. People will even spend a little more money if they know what they're getting is that much better. If you explain the pros and cons and the safety, and this has got a little safety on it, if you're going to do some drawing and shooting, it may not be the gun for you. You may need to get some with a large safety. Try to outfit the person with the gun that they need. But I mean, if that person comes in and says, "I want that," I totally get it. Sell it to them. They'll just come back in and buy something else, I'm sure. This is almost as bad as when women would go into the gun store. And I know this still happens. Go into gun stores and there was a certain, I mean, I don't know which gun stores, but there are people that work behind the gun counter that would look at them and go, "Oh, you need a revolver. Don't you worry, little lady. I got a pink one over here. And if you don't like that, I think I got a Tiffany blue one in the back." My God, condescending. That's... Oh, anyhow, I don't want to see, well, I don't want to say that, but if you're listening to this and you're thinking about buying your first firearm, do not go buy one first. come talk to me and we'll put you through a class and you can handle some guns. And then you can go buy whatever you want. And if you buy something not great, that's on you at that point, right? I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. I just hate to see people bummed out by their new gun purchases. And, yeah. So there's that. I'm looking at getting that Canic just kind of for even that reason, just to have a wider variety of things people can shoot. Even, and I will say I'm coming to the realization, and it's not like I ever wanted to get people to spend a ton of money. But even some of my higher end guns I get because I can, because they're nice, because I want them. And there's certain people that listen to my radio show, listen to the podcast, they see a picture of it on Facebook, they come and take a class, and they want to shoot the platypus, they want to shoot the TTI, they want to shoot the T-sauce, whatever. And so, yeah, that is kind of a draw. That's kind of why I have those as well. But I really hate putting those into the hands of newer shooters. Not that they can't afford it, but just for your first gun, you don't need to go out and buy yourself a $2,500 2011. I mean, you certainly can, and I know there's people that have, but I mean, it's not required. You don't have to. It's a big gun. It's pretty spendy, depending on where you are at in your gun purchasing, journey. So I need to get something a little more down to earth, that's good, that's decent, that feels good, that runs well, and is a little more affordable for people to shoot, for people to touch, for people to put some rounds through in some of my classes. So that's my rant against guys selling guns. Now, you're not, like I said, not all of them are like that, okay? Anymore, my guns I order, and so I don't really have to go in. I don't have to deal with people. I don't have to talk to people. I don't have to mess with people behind the counter. I kind of like that, but it's I'm not saying one size fits all, but one size fits some, and yeah. So there you go. We're just gonna leave it at that for the day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know when I'll get back and do another one. It'll, at the very least, it'll be a week. So I got a lot of classes coming up. I've got a class this weekend that I set up for some people. Oh, speaking of classes, let me jump in here and talk about this. I have got, where's it at? May 9th. I've talked about this in the past, but May 9th, I've got my Defensive Pistol Dynamics 1 coming out. That's May 9th. You can get registered for it now. And then about a month later, I have a Defensive Pistol Dynamics 2 coming out as well. And you can find all those links and stuff on my Facebook page, the Patriot Defense Facebook page. You'll probably see it on Instagram too, but you can't really click on any links on Instagram. So check that out if you're interested. Have you out here. Tell you what, if you want to refine your skills, you want to work on that trigger press, you want to get that draw down, that draw and shoot down, and be accurate, quick, and fast. Like these are the classes that you need to achieve that. Get that done. So you guys have a good week. I'll talk to you later. Bye.